So I have a friend called Sumi.
Yeah.
She always like hypes me and tells me these things. I'm just like, my friend, I really feel you're exaggerating.
Or not always, but there's sometimes controversy with airlines. I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, don't mention.
I'm sure airlines.
I'm like, I need a private jet.
What is it that keeps going wrong? So today, we're in the presence of greatness. I am sitting in front of a trendsetter, an award winner, an activist, a mover, a shaker, everything. And on top of all that, always looking stunning. Yaya Mavundla can only be you. Did I do you justice with the intro?
I think you always do. And thank you.
I'm happy to hear that. Great to have
you
you today. Thank you for joining us at Previdar. So Yaya, I always start my interviews the exact same way. I just want to find out, how does it feel to be Yaya Mavundla today?
Whew, that's a tricky one because I think it's always really feels good to do what you love and to be known for who you are.
Yeah.
But that comes with a lot of challenges. I think just last night, I was just questioning is everything really worth it when you have the world against you for trying to do what's right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen what's happening in the news and on social media.
I've seen bits and pieces, here and there.
So, of course, I mean, that then has really put a lot of conversation in my mind. But again, it doesn't then stop me from saying I'll still do what I want to do and what I love.
Absolutely. It doesn't stop me from saying, guys, hands off Yaya Mavundla. Okay, hands off our icon, our national treasure. There's always going to be negativity out there. And I think as you've become more and more of a public figure, you've had to deal with that part of your growth as well. Let's take it all the way back to the very beginning where a lot of people came to know you. Some people have followed your journey. I've had the privilege of following your career for a number of years. Some people saw you for the first time on Becoming. Some people have found you for the first time on social media. Take us a little bit through your career journey and how you've gotten to this point of where you are.
Thank you. Thank you for always, I think I've known you for so many years.
It's been a while. Hey, I think close to 10 years probably.
You've always been so great. And I always say it's so strange because I think everything that I do, most of the things, not everything, most of the things that I do really happen by default.
Yeah.
I've never really imagined myself on TV. I've never imagined myself in the news or doing most of the things that I do because remember, I grew up in the deep rural areas of KwaZulu-Natal,
right, yeah.
which I didn't have reference of any of the things that I do, At home, we didn't have television. Newspapers, I only knew of a newspaper when I was in Durban 15 years later after I was born.
Yeah.
The only medium of news that I knew of was radio because we grew up listening to Ukhozi FM at home.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing really that I knew of. So when I moved to Durban, of course, and it's so funny that then I was part of a fashion show and then I was on the press.
Yeah.
Isoles is a big thing.
I know Isoles very well, yeah.
So my grandmom saw, of course, somebody saw the paper and called it, oh my gosh, I saw Yaya on the paper.
Yeah.
She's wearing a dress. And then a lot of press then started happening. I started getting a lot of press for other things that I would do. I'd organize fashion shows and events. And then moving to Joburg and found myself in the space that I'm at.
Exactly.
And here we are.
Exactly. And I've known you in a number of different capacities ever since your career shifted to Joburg, from PR to the fashion side of things. There's so much that you've done, so much that you've excelled at as well. Tell us a little bit about the journey to transitioning into television now, the opportunity to start on Becoming, the stories that you and the fellow cast members got to tell and educate the countries on when it comes to everything from gender diversity to sexuality to so many things that a lot of us as South Africans don't really understand or didn't quite understand until we got to see the show. How did that opportunity come up?
So I got a call from Mambasi asking me if I would be interested to be part of the show.
Yeah.
But before then, I had a chat with my friend Diva Kadaj.
Oh, yeah?
Because there was a show that I was actually working on, which ended up not happening because then I had people that came forward and said, hey, we can't have Yaya on television. Because, for many other reasons that they have.
Okay.
But I mean, also, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
That's what they think should happen, and that's for them. And Diva had also suggested me to Mambasi because Mambasi had spoken to Diva also to be part of the show.
Okay.
So then I think mainly the reason why mainly I agreed to be part of that kind of story, because I knew that there were a lot of things that needed to be rectified about specifically transgender women.
Yeah.
And for me, but also I still wanted it to be more family orientated. I didn't want to be seen as a joke, mockery.
I see.
And how really trans people has really always been seen.
Yeah.
You know, and I always refuse. People don't believe it. If they were to see my emails, how many shows that I always get approached to do.
Yeah.
And I always decline.
You turn them down.
Because I'm like, that's not the kind of person that I'm trying to be seen.
Okay.
And there was another show that I was actually supposed to do, and then I ended up being let go because of the things that I demanded to do.
Oh, really?
But it wasn't really that I was asking for people to like climb mountains for me or do the impossible. I just wanted to be treated fairly and things to be done right as they would be done by heterosexual people.
Yes, exactly.
But then I think also if you speak your truth and speak of what you deserve and how you should be treated in the industry, you're constantly being told that you're a diva, you're difficult to work with, you're impossible. And for me, really, I always say I'm not desperate to be on television or to work because I do so many other things that brings in income for me.
Yeah.
Television for me is really a tip of an iceberg where I know, okay, fine, I'm going to do this because I need, of course, publicity for my brand.
For sure.
Other than that, I'm okay.
Okay. I really admire that. Firstly, I admire how you own the story and it came out in becoming, like you said, you wanted this to be a show that families can watch. I had the privilege of watching it with my family and you owned that narrative. But secondly, having the self-respect for yourself to say, no, I'm not going to stand for this. And if someone drops me or if I drop from a production, if I have to decline, then it should be that. Yeah, and I think that attitude has served you well to take you exactly where you are. And now look at you. You say, you talk, I love how you always talk about yourself as a young person from rural KZN, but now you're global. I've seen you in Europe, like I've lost track of where you are whenever. I've seen you in Switzerland, I've seen you at fashion weeks, I've seen you meeting some illustrious people, dressing the part, looking the part at all times. How have the last sort of, let's say, 2-3 years of your career been, especially now seeing your brand becoming not just a big South African brand, but a big global brand too?
Tell you this, I get shocked when people really tell me of the things that I do. That, you know, when somebody tells you of what you're supposed to be aware of.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, really? So I get shocked all the time. And, you know, as you speak, there's something that I'm supposed to be launching. But of course, with what has just happened has come out, the accusation that has come out has also then led me to like then put that on hold. Because of course, I had brands that had then to pull out to say, until this is cleared. And for me, it's things that I think of that I'm like, actually, I need to do this because I feel the importance of it.
Yeah.
And it's not because I always see hope of where it's going to take me. But then again, also for me, because I come from a PR background, I understand the importance of whatever that you do, it needs to be known.
Exactly.
Because if you just work and sit at home and think the work is going to speak for yourself, unfortunately, your work will not speak for you. You need to speak. You need to say what you do.
Absolutely.
You need to get it out there. Because unfortunately, also even the brands that you work with, they don't want to work with the person for the sake of working with the person. They work with you because you are somebody. You are going to bring in something to their lives and change something and add value. So that's always how I've always approached life. And this is why I get so many brands that always have interest in working with me.
I really admire that. And I'm seeing it, like we said, on a global level. We're seeing that recognition internationally as well, where audiences are not following the same narratives as South Africa. They're just seeing the talent. They're just seeing Yaya, the icon out there. And it's really, really incredible to see. One thing that I love about your travels, there's always, or not always, but there's sometimes controversy with airlines. I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, don't mention.
I'm sure airlines,
I'm like, I need a private jet.
What is it that keeps going wrong? Because I've seen luggage stories stories. I've seen delays. Like,
oh
what's up with the airlines? Do they have beef with you?
So I've always, I think also I try and approach situations like calmly, until really I have to speak about it. When you see me speaking about it, because really there's something that has really then gone really wrong.
Yeah.
The luggage issue, oh my gosh, that was, because I've never heard of such an experience before. I didn't have a reference of somebody traveling so many hours and then they get there that their luggage is not there. Shock of my life. And you know that when everything of yours is there.
Everything.
And then you're thinking, and I was speaking at an event the following day.
Get out of here.
So now I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? Because clearly they're not going to find this luggage here.
Yeah.
But also I still had to travel to New York after I've spoken there, like stay a few days. My worry is then, okay, fine, let's just say they find the luggage then after I've left. And they're going to bring it to so it was like such a stressful thing. But also I think, besides even the luggage being missing, I remember this time, this one airline, they treated me so bad.
What?
And they end up even not allowing me to board the plane.
You're joking.
I'm telling you.
Are you allowed to name the airline?
Yes. Fly nurse. I said I would never fly with that airline ever again. They
I've never
just
even
said,
heard of it. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a European airline.
Okay.
So I was not allowed to fly to board the plane because they said I had attitude. I said, what attitude did I have? Because I get there, I want to check in, and then you guys are questioning my documents if they are legit. Do you do the same thing to the privileged other people, which, by the way, are white people?
Exactly.
Do you do the same thing, or is it because I'm a black person?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think most of the things that we don't speak about as black people, that's when you travel to these European countries or abroad mostly. We welcome these people so great into our country, but you're always going to have difficulties getting a visa. You're always going to get difficulties being in the country because of the language.
Exactly.
Just you being in the space, the racism that we face in these countries is shocking.
Yeah,
it's not even just me now, but being trans, but being a black person in these spaces, and you're not there for free. You're spending your money. You're spending your money.
Flight prices.
Horrible.
That is a lot. I wish we could find another way to just transport ourselves to these countries, not deal with airports, visas.
But I think then it becomes a conversation of how do we then start more loving our country and Africa more and traveling within, Africa. Because I think there's so much more that we would discover and love, if we'd go to in these places. I don't think if you go to Ghana or wherever, they're going to give you problems with language.
Yeah,
you understand?
They welcome you so much. You're welcomed like a brother, a sister, like that sense of Ubuntu on the continent.
Absolutely. It's so important for us, to learn to start traveling within Africa.
100%.
Because there are so many things that you discover that you love more than Europe or more than the US here at home or here in Africa. And I think colonialism has really played so much in our minds because we see it has made it when you've gone to New York, when you've gone to Paris.
I see.
And that's the goal for many people.
I know.
It's the same goal where like a musician wants to win a Grammy, doesn't care about a summer, And for me, like, why don't I want an Afrima, but wanting a Grammy? Yes, it's going to change your life to win that Grammy, but we can put in so much effort also to do the same thing with an Afrima, with the Summer, with the Metro FM award.
I'm a big, big believer in that, recognizing our own talent. And I think there's just something special about having your own people. Because when it's the Grammys, it's great to win a Grammy, but there's certain categories that Africans can win in, You'll never see Africans winning Best Album. Whereas here, we're celebrated. Afrimas, for example, they nominate people from all across the continent.
Absolutely.
They've been nominated. Local stars have been nominated. So it's great to get that recognition. And look, you felt that recognition as well. You're an award-winning powerhouse of your own. I've seen you win, what was it, Best Trendsetter for Sowetan Women? You've been nominated and won at the Feather Awards. You have a big trophy cabinet to be proud of as well. How does it feel when you see your peers in the industry, the same people that you're working with and making progress with, supporting you and recognizing you as someone who is award-worthy?
I'm not going to even lie. I mean, it's so fulfilling. It makes you so happy that people are seeing you. Because remember, you know, when you grew up not having a reference.
Yes.
And it's like culture shock to you.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, okay. Wow. So for me, really, every win for me is like that big. It's like, that's exciting. But also, it's just then so strange. And after then it happens, I don't see that much hype that all these people see myself.
Really?
When my friends tell me, I'm like, I think you are exaggerating. So I have a friend called Shumi.
Yeah.
She always like hypes me and tell me these things. I'm just like, my friend, I really feel you're exaggerating.
It's not exaggeration, but I think it's maybe your humility as well.
Absolutely,
that's what
maybe
keeps you
also,
grounded.
I think,
Okay,
yes.
I get that. But then again, the flip side of it now is the higher you climb, the more your star rises. There's also people who want to shoot you down. There's
Absolutely.
also people who, for some, I don't understand why anyone would have beef with you, first and foremost. There's people I can understand. If you say, I don't like Mang Mang, I can understand. I'm trying to think, what would anybody possibly have beef with you for? Because you're a very unproblematic, a very calm, a very gentle and nice, kind person. Like you said, it takes a lot for you to go onto social media and tag someone,
So I think people generally, they don't like people that are meant for greatness.
That's a good point.
I know for a fact that for me, I think I recently just realized that, you know what, whatever that is for me is not only for South Africa or for Africa, it's for the world.
Yes,
I know for a fact that
global brand.
I'm still going to make it even so big.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be so big that it's even going to like shock everybody, because I don't think anyone really like says that.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. That's why they attack me.
Uh-huh.
So and it's so funny that these things, they always happen when something big is about to happen. I remember the previous attack happened when Becoming was coming and the other show was going to come.
Yeah.
And now I was actually supposed to be launching something so major.
Oh my gosh.
And I had like this like really big sponsorship that had come on board, like big brands.
Yeah.
The other one I just had a campaign with them. It's a cup brand that I just had a campaign with them. And they were also going to support this. And so unfortunately now, because there's a woman who has come forward and said I tried to rape a man, and which for me, I'm just like, that is like crazy. I would never do that. How would I want to force myself into a guy? But also, I think, you know what, her story is saying that we were sharing a room. I've never shared a room when I'm traveling to any space for events, unless that person is my friend. So there was no way I would have shared a room with them. But also, I don't want to dwell on it because, of course, my lawyers have really then taken this. And of course, I think, unfortunately for her, I've recently just signed with the USA-based management, and they're going to take it to the grave. Unfortunately,
Americans those people do not play with lawyers. Just by the way,
and I feel so bad for her, but at the same time, I don't feel bad for her, because I really think it's time that homophobes and transphobes really learn a lesson, that you don't just wake up in the morning and think you're going to lie about a person just because you don't like them.
Because honestly, I remember the thread of conversation that it came out. You and Phil and Pela were just talking about
something. I'm just like
unrelated. Talk about my
unrelated
things. And then, do you know this person who came up with these allegations?
I don't know the lady. Even if maybe I had met her at the event, I don't remember her. I don't remember her.
Yeah.
So I was really just shocked. It's just like many other people to say, what is this? And I decided, I remember when I spoke to my manager, I called her, it was like, for her, it was like probably 2 a.m. that side. And she said, Yaya, don't say anything. Of course, I had planned not to like say anything to her until really we collect all the evidence that we needed to collect.
Of course, yeah.
Because I needed to do that first to protect myself, I
understand. And
I hope she doesn't think this is just games where we're just going to then apologize to each other and move on, because I will never.
That's a big thing to joke and play about. It's lives are at stake, careers are at stake. You've just given us a glimpse into the impact it's made. It's affecting your pocket directly.
Directly.
So, absolutely. Let's let the legal process proceed as it should. And then that person.
And I think also the most unfortunate thing is that she has invited so much transphobia into my life.
So she's a repeat
offender. How people now have really been so transphobic towards me, tagging me and insulting me about, my gender identity has just been so hectic.
That is absolutely horrible.
We are here.
We're here. And you know what? I do want to just shine a light on the people who have supported you, the people who have come out and said whatever that person is saying is absolute nonsense. There's been positive voices in that story standing up. So you do have a strong community. You've got a strong support system behind you. Like we said, we'll let the legal system do its thing. So with this in mind, we can see that on the one hand, we're making progress as a country, because now there's lots of other young children who can see Yaya Mavundla. The reference you never had, you are now a reference to so many young people who will be emboldened to do what they want to do. But on the other hand, we clearly see that there's jealousy, there's transphobia, there's homophobia, there's a long way to still go. What do you think we still need as a country to continue making progress so that we can be a really inclusive society?
I think we need freedom first.
Okay.
Because I really think we need real freedom. I don't think we as South Africans are really, really free. Okay. Our minds aren't free. We're not happy as a society. We are going through a lot and we feel like I can't let Tinashe be happy if I'm not. I can't let Yaya thrive if I'm not thriving. This is why we don't see the privileged other people fight amongst each other for opportunities, because actually they give opportunities to one another. Their businesses, are shared. Their monies are shared amongst each other.
Even their families get involved, everything.
Instead, Tina, if we do it, it's then called nepotism and many other, they even have words for it.
They've got many words. Just look on your favorite news website.
You can't help your own person because then how dare you?
Yeah, we do need that real freedom. Look, I don't want to end this interview on a down note, okay? We know what's happening. We know what you've been through. But at the same time, it doesn't dim your shine. So
absolutely.
I want everybody to know, the Previdar community to know, what are you working on for the rest of the year? What can we look forward to? Where can people keep up with all of the amazing things you're doing?
Really, I think I'm so glad that God brought a person like me, somebody who's so strong, somebody who's such a force, somebody who is undefeated, because a lot of things that I've went through, I would have killed myself. I would have died. Yeah. I would have given up because I've went through so much in my life. But I think everything that then happens teaches me to even do more. And I can't wait for the world to see what I'm about to do. Because I'm about to really do the things that needs to be done.
The things that need to be done. You're about to shake things up. I cannot wait. Always love seeing your every win. Every time I see Yaya winning, it's always something exciting. So I know that we're not even started yet. We're just getting started. Let me say that. You're not even in your final form, as the kids say. So really cannot wait to look forward to that. And whatever stands in the way, you always approach it and you always conquer it gracefully. Please keep that. Keep that you've always had in your career. Because I think what got you here is exactly who you are. So what's the point in changing now,
Absolutely. Yeah. Your hearts will really open a lot of doors that were closed, that people thought nobody would even get into.
Yeah.
Because if your heart is pure, the world and the universe really knows. God exactly knows what we think and what we wish for ourselves and what we wish for other people.
Yeah. My mom always says the same thing. God knows your heart. And everything else will open up. Yaya, it's been amazing talking to you for Previdar. Cannot wait to have the next conversation again. We're going to be following all of your big moves. Until then, guys, keep up with Yaya Mavundla on social media. What are your handles, please?
I'm at Yaya RSA. It's all media platforms.
All media. You see, PR people always know the perfect handle.
Branding is so important.
Branding is important. Thank you so much, Yaya. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.